course, we had the lovely Brie Larson as Captain Marvel.
There she
From
is.
Variety magazine, Disney is overhauling MCU output with a new mission to drop the number of Marvel movies to at most 3 a year, and the number of series to 2 a year. Well, we're slowly going to decrease volume, and we're working hard on what the path is, says Bob Iger, adding that Marvel has a couple good films in 2025. Don't know what they are. And then they're heading to more Avengers, which we're extremely excited about. Overall, I feel great about the slate. It's something, as you know, that I've committed to spending more and more time on. The team is one that I have tremendous confidence in, and the IP that we're mining, including all the sequels that we're doing, is second to none. Yeah, Mike, what are your thoughts about this?
Well, I mean, I thought that's kind of what they were doing already. Like this, I think this is like the third or fourth time that Bob Iger has said, "Hey, so we're decreasing the output. Obviously, it's been quantity, but we need to focus on quality." I'm like, so two things. That proves that everyone that said that you were putting out quantity over quality was right. All the people that you were lying to and gaslighting, saying, no, we've always been dedicated to making good stuff, we're just making less of it right now, everybody was right. And you only do this if you're starting to lose money. So that's another reason to like look at this and go, the writing's on the wall. But the other part of it is like, what happened to this super exciting, awesome multiverse project that they totally had planned out, that they were like, no, we know exactly where we want to go and what we want to do and all this stuff. They don't have anything that they talk about that they're excited for anymore. Like, it just kind of feels like at this point, they're just throwing things out there. Like, yeah, I guess we're doing a Captain America movie now, and then they're like, oh man, now we have like rumors. Oh, could Robert Downey Jr. come back? Oh man, maybe we'll get Chris Evans to come back too. And it's like, yeah, but you guys don't need any of that. Like, you never did. But like the fact is, like, it's obvious at this point now that everybody that criticized you was correct. That everybody that said you were doing too much, that it didn't make any sense, that you were just pumping out and churning out stuff, that it was getting overwhelming for a lot of people. Because I know people that go, I don't even know what Marvel movie's out anymore. I don't even know which one to go see, which one's showing anymore. I used to know. I don't even know what's coming out anymore half the time because it was so much. But for them to say like, yeah, we're only going to do like at most 2 to 3 a year. 3 Marvel movies in a year is still a lot of fucking movies. And 2 shows a year is still a lot of shows because they're supposed to be all connected and all working on each other. And if you didn't watch Loki, you have no idea why Kang is around. Like, I don't know. It's just a mess. It feels like this is supposed to be a good thing, but it feels like they're just saying, hey, we're going to keep doing the same stuff we've been doing. We just won't triple down on making more of it. We'll just stick with what we were already doing. And I think that's a really weird cope for them.
What I found amazing was that first part there. They're going to drop the number to at most 3 a year. How many movies per year was Marvel producing prior to Endgame and Infinity War per year?
I think they were making 2 to 3. That's
no, it was just 2.
Was it just 2?
It used to be 1, and they bumped it to 2. So by the time Endgame came along, it was 2. I believe that year we got 3 was with Endgame, Spider-Man, and Black Widow. I think that was the first of the 3 years.
Yep.
And then after that, it was 3 a year. Last year we got 3. We got Guardians, Ant-Man, and the Marvels. So drop. I mean, you can't drop a number that hits the max you've been doing all year. And then to 2 a year, you wish they had produced some good ones to finally go over it. I mean, at best you go to Netflix, and when you had Daredevil and another series. They produced quite a bit, and they were quality for the most part up front. Again, this is Bob Iger. This is politician Bob. He's speaking to shareholders who don't know anything about the products that Disney puts out, because a lot of these shareholders are your hedge funds, and I'm not the one to talk about business, but it's most of the shareholders are investment companies and not people. And so he's speaking to these people who don't care about this, and so you just feel that. And the more I think about what's coming out of, there's one way to save Disney at this moment. There's one way Bob Iger can save Disney, and this is how it is, and we talk about it all the time, but it's authenticity. Tell us where you screwed up. Just come and say, look, let's be real. Over the last few years, we've made mistakes with Marvel.
Yeah.
We went to characters after the great success we had with Endgame, and we went to characters and stories that you're just not familiar with. Shang-Chi. I know you don't know who Shang-Chi was, but we made a comic book that none of you watched. Ms. Marvel. Not only did we take a comic book character that's relatively new, and then change her powers on you.
Yeah,
that was a mistake. Not focusing on story was a mistake. Focusing too much on diversity was a mistake. That's what, to me, that's what's sorely missing, not only in entertainment, but in the world in general, is no one's willing to admit a mistake. Politics, for crying out loud. No one can ever admit a mistake in politics. And I think we as people are starting to get wise to that. And I'm frustrated as hell. And, I just want someone to admit a mistake. Is that so much to ask?
I don't think it is at this point. I mean, here's the thing. Admitting a mistake means that you're going to correct your behavior, and it means that the path you were on was not the correct one. And I don't think that's where it's really difficult, is like, I don't think that these people can admit that they're wrong, because it's become akin to like a religious belief at this point. Well, no, we're on the right track. We're making the right choices. We're making the world a better place. This is important. And so like we can never admit that this crusade that we're on is wrong and destructive and damaging our brand and stuff. And I also think that this is the other part of it that is really important. Like you said, Disney is no longer beholden to their customers. They're beholden to their shareholders. And if these hedge funds and these companies that invest in them don't even watch the product that they're pumping out, then all they see is Disney shuffling numbers. All they see is numbers. And it would be one thing. It's like, because if you actually let somebody that watches your product look at it and has a stake in your company and says, why are your movies so bad? Like, what's going on with these? Like, why is the quality of your stuff so bad right now? What's going on? But if they're not watching the stuff, then all they see is numbers, and Disney lying to them about numbers and saying, oh no, I know it looks like this to you guys, but we promise it'll be this or it'll be that. And the reality is, like, we're the people that make their company profitable. Mm-hmm. If we don't go see your movies, you lose money. If we don't go to your parks, you lose money. If we don't buy your merch, you lose money. And it's like, it does, at some point, that money stops coming in, like, and I just don't understand why they can't, like you said, why they can't admit wrongdoing unless there is something going on behind the scenes that we're not seeing, that is justifying to them that they're on the right track. Whether it's, go ahead.
Yeah, the chat is bringing up like ESG and BlackRock and all these, these loans and stuff. It's, I'll be honest, I'm not an expert in these things in terms of the workings of financing in the big studio system. But I do know, they're taking loans out to make these movies. And when a movie loses $150 million, at some point the credit card's going to run out. Not only is the credit card going to run out, but then they're going to want their money back.
Yeah, unless the conversation is, and this is, as a gamer, this has been happening in gaming, recently with DEI and a lot of these DEI consultants and BlackRock being behind some of these DEI consultants and stuff. If your largest investors are saying to you, hey, we will keep giving you money, and we know that right now it doesn't seem like this is working for you, but we'll keep giving you the loans, we'll keep giving you the money that you need, just stay the course, and that's all they can parrot to people, is we just have to stay the course, then maybe that's what's driving these companies. I don't know. I can't say for sure, because I'm not in privy to these deals. But that's the thing. If you Alan, if you start a company and somebody goes, I'll invest in your company and give you all the money you need, and you go, cool, I failed at my business venture, and they go, don't worry about it, Alan, I'll give you more money. Don't worry about paying me back. Just stay the course. This will work eventually. We promise you're changing the world, or you're making things better. You're doing the right thing. then maybe that's where they're at right now, and maybe that's why they're not worried, because any other company in the world that I can think of that exists this way goes under when you stop making profit, and goes
Mhm.
under when you start losing money hand over fist, and it's not to invest in some infrastructure that's going to carry you forward in the future. So I don't
Yeah,
understand it. Yeah.
yeah, it just baffles me. I mean, look, there's making a movie for $200 million is very different than making a movie for $2 million.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And sometimes having too much money makes you lazy in
Yes.
the makes you frivolous in the way you spend your money, and lazy in your creativity in telling that story.
Yep.
Versus $2 million, where you have to scrap and scrape and to be innovative to get the shot you want, or to get
Yep.
the stunt you want, or the special effect that you want, or even to tell the story that you want. There's something about a passionate filmmaker that has to struggle to make a film that's different than a filmmaker who's given the unlimited credit card to tell the story that they want. And
Absolutely.
we're seeing it, and this is the epidemic problem that's going across the big studios, and
Yeah.
why we're not getting movies that will draw people in,
Yeah.
and why good movies. Look, we said The Fall Guy was a good movie, but it's the state that the industry is in that's keeping most people from wanting to see it, wanting
Yes.
to make it a success.
Yeah, the right the ship moment would be, okay, and these movies aren't making as much money as we hope they would, but the audience feedback has been positive. So let's go back to making mid-range, mid-budget movies
Mhm.
and lower budget movies that are focused on quality, and maybe we'll start to see a return on that because it'll draw people back into seeing films again. That's what your answer should be, but instead, like you
Mhm.
said, they're just like, let's just spend another $200 million on a film. And I've said this before many times, and I've learned a lot working the independent scene, and I'm still new. We're still a very small, young company, but I have learned a lot and hear from so many people in the industry, from actors to directors of photography to special effects people. They're like, I would work for so much less if it meant I got to work on something that meant something to me.
Mhm.
If it meant I got to work on a project that was actually creative and innovative and trying. There are so many people in the company or in the industry that will say, hey man, or used to work in the industry, because that's another thing. That's a whole nother untapped market. People that used to work in the industry that go, you know what? I would come back to work if it meant that I was working on a project that had a bunch of people that were hungry to make good films again. And we've run into that ourselves where people go, oh my gosh, we're just excited to see you guys trying to put out something quality, even if you guys don't have very much money. We'll help. We'll figure it out. We've had, animation studios talk to us, or we've talked to animation studios about projects that we're trying to work on and say, yeah, we would cut you deals on things if it meant that we could work on a cool project with you guys.
Mhm.
They want to see good movies happen. People in the industry want to work on creative projects again. That's why they get into it. They're not doing it it's not just to make money. It's also to make something that they can be proud of and excited about at the end of the day. And that's not what's happening in these
Yeah.
massive companies.
Well, ironically, if someone's going to give you $200 million to make a movie, your vision is gone, because they don't care about your vision. They care about
Yeah.
that you're going to get that $2 million back.
Yep.
And they so not believe in your vision that they will tell you what you're doing wrong, and they will take your vision away from you, and ultimately make the story that they think will earn that $200 million back. And so, working for Hollywood nowadays, unless you're a Christopher Nolan, your vision is not your vision, and
Yeah.
you don't have that kind of carte blanche.
Yep.
And again, that's why Hollywood is not the dream.